Andy Murray's indicated he might actually pull out of the ATP World Tour finals if it is decided that the Davis Cup final against Belgium is played on clay, because it simply wouldn't give him enough time to prepare, really, over a week, you know, take a couple of days off, a couple of days, really. What do you make of that?
I thought it was interesting. I think certainly for Andy, the priority, rightly so, is the Davis Cup. That's what he wants to win, but what is also important is he wants to do well in the tournaments coming up. He wants to do well in Shanghai, he wants to do well in Paris, he wants to do well at the O2, because at some stage next year, with the great tennis that he played in 2015, he wants to try and track down Novak Djokovic. However, what might be a good plan, which is something that Roger Federer did last year, because the Davis Cup final was on clay in France at the end of 2014. Roger actually identified a week, I think in the middle of October, where he actually spent 3 or 4 days on the clay. Right. And I think that would be a really smart move for Andy, because it would be very tough for him. I mean, as good a player as Andy is on clay, it would be very difficult if he hadn't practiced on clay and to go straight from the O2, let's say if he made the semi-final or the final, to then go and play his best tennis on the Friday, have to play 3 matches on a different surface, having not played since the French Open. So it'll be interesting to see his schedule. But the one thing that Andy has been very good at is getting it right, and I'm sure he will be trying to work out what's best for him to play his best tennis at that weekend. Regardless of what choice he makes as regards the World Tour finals, in a word, will Great Britain beat Belgium in the Davis Cup final? Yes. Going back, I thought the key tie in the whole of 2015, having beaten the Americans, was that doubles against the French. And from that moment on, Britain were the favourites, and they certainly were comfortable with that tag over the weekend. And I think Murray's on a mission. Both Murrays are on a mission.